Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm filming this video for every single one of you out there that potentially doesn't believe that you can create success. You don't know if what you have inside your head can become a reality in real life. And for anyone here who is struggling with their life as it is at the moment and they just don't know what to do. And I'm going to share with you my business story. And some of the things I'm sharing with you here, I haven't shared anywhere. But like I did for my 30th birthday, if you haven't watched the video about my life lessons from my 20s, I feel like opening up and being really honest with you is the best way to create an impact. And it also, I really want this channel to be a place where I'm sharing with you exactly what I've done and how I can create the best life for myself and how you can do that too. And no matter where you are in your business journey right now, not to give up. So this is me giving you my business story. So 3 years ago, when I first started my Instagram account, which was at the time called Healthy Happy Mind, I was going through a really low point. I got married when I was 25 to Luke, who is here filming. You know, life and our relationship's completely different now. But when we got married, we fell victim to the society norms. And first of all, I just want to find out if you are in that situation now. Do you feel like you should be doing certain things in your life and hitting certain milestones because that's what society has always done? And are you feeling pressured to do certain things in certain timescales because that's what everyone around you is expecting of you? We definitely found ourselves in this situation. Not on purpose and not by anyone specific, but I definitely felt like I needed to do the next thing. So we had got together, bought a house, got married, sold our house and bought a bigger house, bought new cars, and everyone was starting to ask us about having children. And again, it does take a lot to share your journey, and I appreciate every single one of you on this channel, but I think it's really important that I just give you the context. And for me, the reason this is so important is because I know that there are so many of you out there struggling with what you should be doing, when you should be doing it, how you should be doing it, and what works and what doesn't. So we were in a situation where we wanted to start a family, and at the time I was still teaching full time, and it didn't happen, and we still don't have a child 3 years later, but what we do have is a completely different life. And I started my Instagram 3 years ago because I started to get really worn down by the fact that we weren't getting pregnant. And I was getting really unhappy about the fact that this wasn't working for us, and it was consuming me. And because I'd worked so hard to overcome anxiety and change my life, I didn't want to go back into that mindset, and I didn't want to go back into that emotional state. So I decided I would start an Instagram account, and it would focus on happiness. That's what I wanted to start an Instagram account about, happiness. And from there, after 6 months of having the Instagram account, I decided to start a Facebook group. And by that point, Luke had created my logo and my brand, which was called A Happy Mind, and people were joining my group. And I then realised that there was a whole community of amazing people out there who wanted to focus on their mindset, who wanted to feel happier and wanted to change their life. So I went into self-development. I started to learn about coaching, I started to learn about self-development, and I then hired a coach because I wanted to become an anxiety coach. So for the first year of my business, I started anxiety coaching. So I set up my Instagram in the April of 2017. I set up my Facebook group in June 2017, and I sold my first masterclass in December 2017. And from then, I spent that next 6 months selling masterclasses, group masterclasses, and anxiety one-to-ones. And I was charging £99 for 3 hours with me for my one-to-ones. That's where I started. And I just wanted to tell you that, you know, people don't start charging at £5,000 or £10,000. You have to start somewhere. And for me, I was still teaching. So I was doing this as well as teaching, and I started making money. And I very quickly realized that this could go somewhere. So after a year of doing anxiety coaching, I wrote for 7 mental health magazines, and I started speaking about anxiety and mental health at exhibitions, workshops, and places all over London. So my name started to get out there. I then started a podcast So I started the podcast in April 2018, so nearly a year after I started my Facebook group, but a year after I started my Instagram. And the podcast grew really quickly. People were loving the podcast. I was interviewing amazing influencers, and I started to see the ripple effect. And if I was to fast forward to now and tell you where I am in my business, I think the reason I'm filming this is just because there's not enough conversation out there about how we've got to where we've got to. And for me, from the situation we were in and finding something really difficult, I've changed my life. I've completely changed my life. I have a life of abundance, success, travel, opportunity, experience. Just, it's so rich with so much of the things that I craved when I thought I needed to be doing what society wanted of me. And now it's completely different. And of course, yes, I do still want to have a family, and that is something we will still have in our future. But right now, I love that my business became my baby, and I've grown and nurtured that business baby, and now it's thriving and it's doing so well. And of course, it's still in its infancy, but it's something that I have a real confidence in the success of. So if I was to tell you where I am now, so in the first year of my business, when I was still teaching full time, I made 55,000 English pounds, and I still taught, so it was more than my annual salary. And I then went part-time in teaching and in my second year of business, and towards my end of the second year of business, I left teaching altogether and I do the business. And now I'm due for the end of my second year in business to make a 7-figure salary, profit, income, and it makes such a big, high 6 figures, depending on where we get to in the next 6 months. But it hasn't happened overnight, and it hasn't happened without a lot of hard work. So on my business journey, I focused on Instagram and Facebook, nurturing my community, nurturing my clients, and I changed my packages. So I started with 6 different coaching packages, all for anxiety. I now have 2 packages, one for 6 months one-to-one for anxiety and mindset, and one for 9 months for startup business coaching. So you can work with me on how to set up and start your own business, how to thrive on social media and build a community, and how to start selling and making money. And I would say 90% of my clients now are focused on business and 10% are on anxiety. And of course, all of the entrepreneurs that I coach, we do work on anxiety and mindset and all of the things that come with becoming an entrepreneur. But my business has evolved. And if you're in a situation now where you just have an idea, please, I urge you to just start and try. And I met someone last week who asked me, I don't know what I want to do, but I don't know if I can just do this forever. Do I need to hire a coach? Do I need to book this course? Do I need to take this program? I would say start first, and then you can work out what you really need. Set up an Instagram account, and after 2 months, when you realise that you don't have a social media strategy, but you've got people liking your photos, then you can work with someone, and you could come to me and say, this is where I'm at, this is what I've tried, this is what I need support on. But what I don't think you need to do before you start taking action is invest in anything. You are your biggest asset, your journey, your story, your experiences, and your life. And your passion and your ideas are what you need to start harnessing. So from right now, if this has taught you anything about where you could be in your life, the struggles you could face, the difficulties, all of the things that could happen, and just starting with an idea, honestly, my life is completely different now. I'm traveling to LA, I'm doing New York global events, I'm going to Australia to do events, I'm speaking in London, I'm running my own events, I've got a best-selling book, I've got clients all over the world. I cannot explain to you how different my life is now. I can't explain to you how different my relationship with Luke is now, and how his life is so different. We've created something amazing, but that all came from an Instagram account. This is the start of my business journey. Of course, I could talk to you for so long about this. And Luke, what time are we on the camera? How long has it been?
9 minutes 57.
10 minutes. So I could talk to you for another 10 hours about this, but I just want to give you something to start you on this journey, and I want to start sharing my message more. I want to start showing up and being vulnerable more. And my mantra for this year, for 2019, is take bigger risks and enjoy bigger rewards. And if a big risk is for me to share my vulnerability with all of you, when I haven't done it, I've got goosebumps, when I haven't done it anywhere else, but it allows me to have the rewards that you know you're not on your own. Whatever storm you might be in right now, you can come out the other side. And if I can give you the opportunity and the inspiration to do that too, I'm so happy with that. So start where you are now and allow this story to inspire you to start your own. And maybe in 2 years' time, you will have a YouTube account, you will be hiring venues to film your content, and you will be sharing your message and your story. And that absolutely can be you. If you haven't watched my video last week, my last video about my game-changing habits, I would absolutely really invite you to do that and just learn about some simple things that you can do right now to increase your success and well-being through your habits. And I would also really encourage you to go and watch my video about my lessons from my 20s if you haven't already and you want to learn about how I overcame anxiety and started to change my life along this journey. But I really hope you've enjoyed hearing a slice of my business background. And if you want more and you have any questions about me and where I've been on my business, please leave them in the comments, because I'm more than happy to create these videos. I'm more than happy to show up for you, and I want nothing more than for you to be empowered and know that it's possible for you to change your life too. I'll see you on the next video.